Good morning. It's Pastor Martin, coming to you from the beauty of my backyard garden. I want to read a book to you today called A Good Night for Mr. Coleman, written by Kathy Izard and illustrated by Evelyn Henson. Today, I woke up with a smile because it's my favorite day of the month, Soup Kitchen Sunday. I get to help make tons of sandwiches and loads of soup for people who are hungry. Mom says we work at the soup kitchen to remind us to believe in something bigger than ourselves. I'm not sure what that means. I just know I like helping people and putting on a special purple apron. When we are at the soup kitchen, we call everyone we serve a neighbor, so we can remember to be nice to them, as we are to people who actually live next door to us, like Mrs. Cook. I call Mrs. Cook Gigi, and she has awesome red glasses with hair that looks like she's wearing clouds. Gigi paints every day in her art studio, and she always asks me to paint with her. I mostly watch because I'm afraid I am not a very good artist. Gigi always shakes her silver hair and tells me, "You can do anything, Grace. Really, anything." My name is Grace. The neighbors in the soup kitchen don't have a home like me or Gigi, so they don't have kitchens or bathrooms. They come to the soup kitchen every day to eat lunch and take a shower. But there are no bathtubs or toys. Mom says, serve everyone with a smile, and that is easy to do because helping makes me feel all shiny inside, especially when I help my friend, Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman gets all his letters delivered to the soup kitchen since he doesn't have a mailbox. When I hand Mr. Coleman his mail, he says, "Why, thank you, Miss Grace." I ask him why he doesn't have a home, and he says because he lost his job. I ask him why, and he says, it's complicated. I ask Mom if Mr. Coleman can move in with us since he doesn't have a home, but she said no. I ask why not, and she says, it's complicated. Grown-ups always say it's complicated when they don't have words to explain stuff, but I wish they would try. I always thought Mr. Coleman and all the neighbors slept upstairs at the soup kitchen, so I asked my mom if she would take me to see Mr. Coleman's bed. She looks at me funny and says, "Nobody sleeps here." "But where is Mr. Coleman's bed?" I ask her. Mom doesn't have an answer. If he doesn't have his own bed, how does Mr. Coleman ever have a good night? I thought. It scares me to think about Mr. Coleman alone in the dark, with no bed and no pillow and no bear, like the one I hug at night. He doesn't even have a dog, like my Rocky, to protect him. Can't we do something about it? I ask my mom. It's complicated, she says, but I keep hearing a little voice that won't go away, telling me to do something about it. So I decided to trust the whisper. The next day after school, I set up a lemonade stand with a sign that said, "Let's build beds, lemonade $1." If I sell lemonade every day for a whole year, would that be enough to get Mr. Coleman his own bed? I tell Gigi about Mr. Coleman and that he doesn't have a bed or a pillow or a bear or a Rocky. Gigi says we must do something about that, Grace. Then Gigi shows me a newspaper article where some grown-ups are trying to build a whole apartment building for neighbors who don't have a place to live, like Mr. Coleman. So I keep selling lemonade, and Mom helps me send the money I make to the grown-ups who are building apartments for neighbors who don't have homes. And Gigi gives them money too. I don't know how much, but Mom says it was a lot. And guess what? All those dollars added up. And the grown-ups really did build a building so that Mr. Coleman and lots of neighbors would have a bed and a pillow in their own homes. I thought Mr. Coleman still needed one more thing to have a good night. So I give him my bear, too. Now Mr. Coleman is no longer a soup kitchen neighbor, just a neighbor like Gigi. And he has his own mailbox, so I can send him letters and pictures. Because I finally tried painting with Gigi, and it turns out I'm a pretty good artist. Mr. Coleman even hung some of my paintings on his new bedroom wall. Sometimes things aren't complicated. It turns out you can do anything, really anything, when you believe in yourself and something bigger. That's a neat story on many levels. For Grace taking the time to care and have compassion for someone who needs a home, who's often overlooked. What a wonderful thing she did. There are lots of people in our community who you can help too. Wonder who it will be. Have a great day, friends.